Essential question. Why is it important to study the weather? Weather Measures by Yvonne Morrison. It is important to know what the weather will be like. If it is going to be sunny, you need a hat. If it is going to be cold, you need a sweater. We can find out what the weather will be by looking at a weather forecast. Weather forecasters use tools to measure the weather. They use this information to predict the weather. In the past, people did not know how to measure the weather. They looked for signs of rain and wind. They looked for signs of cold weather. They saw that the rain was making puddles. They looked at the wind blowing in the trees. Later, people used tools to measure the weather. Then they could see how much rain or snow there had been. They could see how strong the wind was. Wind is air that moves from one place to another. A light wind is called a breeze. Strong winds are called gales. Very strong winds can pull up trees. They can blow roofs from houses. It is important to know how strong the wind is going to be. People use tools to measure the wind. To show where the wind is coming from, people use a weather vane. Water is an important part of the weather. It makes up rain and snow. It makes up clouds. Clouds are made of tiny drops of water or pieces of ice. Clouds can help forecasters predict what the weather will be like. A few fluffy clouds usually mean good weather. Heavy, dark clouds often bring rain. There are different kinds of rain. Light rain is sometimes called a drizzle. Heavy rain is called a downpour. When it rains, marks on a rain gauge show how much has fallen. Snow forms when tiny pieces of ice in a cloud stick together. They fall as a snowflake. People measure snowfall using a stick in the ground. The stick has marks on it. This shows how deep the snow is. It is important to know how hot or cold the day is going to be. Temperature is how warm or cool the air is. People can measure the temperature. They use a tool called a thermometer. The number at the top of the red liquid tells the temperature. The sun warms the air, land, and water. Without the sun, it would be too cold for us to live on Earth. When the sun looks low in the sky, the temperature can feel cool. When the sun looks high in the sky, it can feel warm. Weather forecasters predict what the weather will be like. Then we can be ready for the day. They also give people warnings about bad weather. These warnings help keep people safe. Some bad storms occur more often in certain areas. Sometimes storms become very strong and turn into tornadoes, hurricanes, and blizzards. During storms, do not go outside. It is important to stay safe in dangerous weather.